Both at the same time. Air conditioner and microwave. Hey guys, Matty Extreme Auto Caravan and Camping with you again. Another lovely off-grid setup on this domain. Now this one, as with all of our off-grid setups, to run your microwave and your air conditioner and all of your mains powered devices off-grid, this one is a little bit unique. So we've done the 560 amp hours of PowerPaul custom-made Australian lithium batteries. Very good batteries, as you guys already know, using a lot of these. So that's over 6.5 kilowatt hours of storage there. Really, really awesome batteries. And they have a max discharge per battery of 250. So that means one battery can run a 3,000 watt inverter. That's ludicrous. Happy days there. So we've got two of them. We've gone for the Enerdrive inverter running on all of the factory outlets in this one. So at the touch of a switch, everything becomes live. Your microwave, the air conditioner, all of your factory CMS power outlets in this, including the one outside. So if you want to run an induction cooker outside on the outside table, go nuts. You want to run an extension cord to a table further out to start cooking, happy days there. It'll actually even run the mains power element on the Swift 500 series at the rear on this, because as we all know, there's a lot of recalls, including this one, so he can still use the electric element on this. It pulls about 50 to 60 amps when it's running, so it's not crazy, but completely doable if you guys didn't know that. Now, with the Enerdrive system that's factory integrated on this, the things that are not running through the inverter, you guys know I'm hot on this, is the mains battery charger and the three-way automatic fridge, all right? So that GPO, that power inlet, right, that is before the inverter. What that means is when these guys are free camping, they'll hit the inverter, bang, beep, beep, you're gonna hear things turn on, except for the battery charger and the three-way fridge. Because it's an automatic three-way fridge, it picks up when you're on mains power, if the automatic selection is on. If the inverter ran that outlet, it would sense the inverter and flick over to mains power. And for you guys in the know, you know that these absorption fridges pull a lot of power on mains power. It's something like 200 to 300 watts. And you know, if you're free camping, that's what gas is for. As a backup, these guys could unplug that three-way fridge from that inverter, from that GPO that's before the inverter, and plug it into an outlet that is after the inverter. The only time you would do that is if you ran out of gas. You know, for a few days, it would get you by, so it's a fail-safe, so at least you don't have to worry about all of your goodies in the fridge defrosting, especially if you just spent $1,000 on shopping, which we are these days. So that's a fail-safe there, and we keep that in the area so people can do that. So back to the specs. So got the Enerdrive inverter running on all the factory outlets. Now, we've managed to use, because this is a brand new van, we've managed to use the existing solar panels on this. They've got the 170 watt Voltex, which are a great panel, and they were in an okay spot except for this one. So we've moved the one on the passenger side and put it towards the rear, so there's more chance of it getting some solar. It was right up against the air conditioner, really close. So we've moved it over to the rear, and the one that was over there was in a good spot anyway, so we're happy. So the existing 340 watts is now rewired and going through a Victron smart solar controller. We've added an additional 600 watts on this roof, so two 200s and then two 100s. So we've done a series setup with two solar controllers. Now both these smart solar controllers from Victron are networked together to talk to the shunt. What that means is this has the ability to get really accurate readings directly from the battery, from the sensing wire. So even though the solar controllers are really close to the battery, it just eliminates any losses in the cable between the solar controller and the battery. It gets all its information from that point. So very accurate charging with the network set up there. Plus the other advantage of going the 2 solar controllers, as you guys know from my previous videos, is if there are shade on one of the arrays, the other array is going to keep going. The shading system that's happening and the shading on those panels that are on one controller will not affect the other. So that way, if you're under a tree like we are now, the sun's actually in front, so we're going to get some solar today. If we do get shade on this back corner, my other array will keep going and pumping full power. There's no impact on each system. They both run independently, so their own tracking system, but they both charge simultaneously for an outcome. That is, you guys have seen my videos, I'm pumping in huge power. Now we've gone for DC charging as always, but we've gone for the smaller Redarc 25 amp DC charger. This is enough for these guys to drive along, towing with an MUX. And just remember guys, that number is on top of the solar. So as that sun comes up and you're pumping in your 40, 50 amps per hour, the 25 is on top of that. So these guys will pump in up to 80 if needed. So that's 960 watts on the roof in total, guys. Nearly 1,000 watts of solar. And I don't know if you can see it, this van's small, right? It's only an 18 footer. To get 960 watts up on an 18 footer is bloody awesome. I'm a massive advocate for solar. You can never have too much solar. You're only going to capture charge. Your charge controller takes care of the charging. You're just going to charge early in the morning, late in the afternoon, and you're going to warp speed charge those batteries before you can blink. And that's what we're trying to achieve here. Lots of off-grid power, so these guys don't have to worry about power when they're off-road, and they're just limited to water. And that's what we all want. Limited to water, don't have to worry about charging things and, you know, stinking hot running the air conditioner. That's what we want. This had the battery outside, just a single lithium battery on this one, and it had the original BM Pro mains charger with the old separate fuse box up there. Nothing has changed except for obviously the mains charger is now out. We've put a Victron 30 amp mains charger in, but the 12 volt system remains the same, guys. So you still open up your door, turn your master switch on, all your 12 volt stuff turns on as normal, except now it's, you know, got 560 amp hours to draw from as opposed to 100. That's a big improvement at 12 volt there. With mains power, when these guys are at a caravan park or they're at a station stay, wherever, they'll plug in mains power. Power will still go through your van in factory form. The difference is now when they unplug from mains power and they're on the side of the road or they're free camping somewhere, they're not limited to that. They don't need power coming in to run the air conditioner and to run your microwave, induction cookers, coffee machines, hair dryers. These guys can run any of their appliances anywhere, wherever they want. And to replenish that energy comes from the 960 watts of solar and the DC charging from the vehicle. So pretty much this is like a really good setup. I'm super happy with how it's turned out. We've got it all neatly under the lounge area here with plenty of space. This is all free under my bum here, so I was able to not impact in this location for storage. These guys can put stuff in here, and even where the inverter is, old mate puts a sack of potatoes, he said, so he can still do that. All the venting and all the airflow is around this way, and I've had this running for a couple of hours this morning with the Ibis 4 on heat. Now these things are thirsty, right? Reverse cycle ACs on heat suck some power. This was 110 while it was running just to get this fan up to, you know, 27 degrees. It's only 8 outside, it's freezing, so I wanted a bit of warmth for this video. So I've got it, I had it on 20, I ramped it back down to 20, and it already hit the cutoff. So it hit 110 amps and then it ramped back down to about 15 to 20. And then as it ramped back up, I put it on night mode, it hit about 50 and then went back down. So they are efficient once you get your van to temperature. It's just that initial, you know, getting your van to temperature. But as you guys already know from other videos, I don't recommend running these on heat. They just suck so much power. But hey, you can. If you really wanted to, you know, run it, it's fine, you can do it. In air conditioning mode, the Ibis 4s, like the Harriers, they're pretty efficient. I find them efficient. It's variable. You'll get people saying they suck a lot of power. They do, you know, initially, but once your van's at temperature, they only hover down to that sort of 40 to 70 mark. And, you know, I've got the same air conditioner, I've had it for years, and, you know, I go camping all the time. So 40 to 70 at 12 volt for these per hour, even less in night mode. You run the night mode on it, it'll ramp it right down. I think you shave another 10 off it. So happy days there. What else can I talk to you about? Nice and neat, everything's labelled, ready to go. Everything's traced, everything's all down here. Factory 12 volts up there. I'll give you a rundown, guys. These guys have got a toasty maker in here. So I'll put the microwave on, we'll put the air conditioner on. We'll get some numbers up on the Victron BMV 712 so you can see what this pulls, you can see what the microwave pulls. You guys know that the batteries handle this discharge day in, day out. So I'll show some numbers there, and it's only early in the morning, so I'm not going to get a maximum solar yield. I'm only getting about 10 or 12 amps as we speak. But yeah, there we go, guys. Full off-grid setup. Run all your devices anywhere on the side of the road at the touch of a button, and there we go. Hit some comments below, you know, give me a like, give me some questions, email me, message me, call me. Always on the phone. So always happy to answer your questions. If I don't get to you back to you straight away, guys, I will get back to you in due course. It is a very, very busy time in this industry at the moment, and you guys know, because there are more caravans on the road than cars at the moment. Maybe not that case, but getting bloody close to it. So enjoy the setup, guys. Alright, so it's only like 8:30 in the morning, but take note of the number. We're not putting in bad power, are we? 8:30 in the morning, and this is why we do those strings and the way we wire up solar with the joint solar controllers together, network. This is what we achieve. It's, you know, 8:30 in the morning, I'm putting in nearly 12 amps. That's really, really good. Very happy to be able to do that such, you know, early on in the day. So we'll turn the inverter on. We'll go amps. I can put watts in this one. So that's the inverter. You're going to hear the beep from the microwave and AC. There we go. So we're free camping now, essentially. The status light and the display light. So you've got 3 modes here: transfer, inverter, and fault. So if this little status light lights up red, that's a fault. That means you overloaded the inverter. Shut it down and turn it back on. She'll restart. Transfer, when it's green, that means you're on mains power. So if you leave this inverter on and you plug mains power on the side, what that will do is it'll automatically flick over to that input. It's very clever the way it does it. But remember what I said to you guys at the start of the video. If you do not have a 3-way fridge and you do not have your mains battery charger before the inverter, and you leave that on, you're at a caravan park and the power goes out, it'll automatically flick over to batteries without you even knowing. It'll happen that quick. So your 3-way fridge will go over to mains power and start pulling a lot of energy. So you wake up with a depleted battery, and you might be heading off to a free camp that morning, you know, and yeah, the idea of it is I try and tell customers, you don't need your inverter on when you're on mains power, as simple as that. The auto transfer switch is, it's just like a backup. So if you're running your generator, that's fine. You're obviously going to hear your generator shut off. But if you're at a caravan park, there's no point in having your inverter on. Try and have it off. You don't really need it on anyway. So let's go back to that. All right, so she's on now. We'll go to, so that's the watts display. So obviously inverter is orange. All right, so back to that status light. Green is transfer when you're on mains. Orange is when you're on inverter. And then red is fault. She's orange at the moment. We're not pulling any power. So let's turn on the heater. Ibis 4 on 20. We'll go fan 2. Where are we? Yeah, fan 2. And that'll ramp up. So the number here, because I've hit the select button, so voltage, wattage. All right, but it's in the decimal point, every point. So that's 340 watts at the moment. Ooh, there we go. Just had the inverter kick in. Now I've got it all open, guys, so we can hear the inverter ramp up. 500 odd watts now. There's the amps we're pulling. I'll try and get this to ramp up to where we had it last time. So this, you know, close to 100 on heat, which is crazy. So Ibis 4 running on heat, full fan. And because we've got the bigger Enerdrive inverter on this one with that 2600 headspace, and we've got the microwave. There we go. Let's see what she's drawing. So microwave and air conditioner on heat at the same time, guys. Look at the numbers. So 2,500 watts, 2,380 to be exact, or in amps 197. So it's close to 200 amps. Look at that. Let's go to voltage. Look at that. How good's that? These are the PowerPaul batteries. So it only lost 0.3 of a volt under a 200 amp load. Now that's a testament to the way Paul builds his batteries. You know, he uses those big bus bars, and obviously my thick cable helps as well. But inside the battery itself, you know, you've seen the other video that Paul, you know, when I tore down the battery, you can see the construction. That 0.3 of a volt drop under a massive load like that is only there because of that awesome construction. Any other battery that I've done, and you can dig through my videos and check them out, it does drop quite significantly more than that under a heavy load. So happy to put these under big loads day in, day out. And there's two of the batteries, guys. That's a 500 continuous amp discharge. This inverter, it doesn't even have the capability to get even close to that. The inverter will beep at 2,600 and we hit, you know, 2,500. So it's not even going to hit the capacity of one battery. All right, how good's that? We'll go back to the screen here. So the Enerdrive remote to turn the inverter on and off here, pulling 700 watts. We're 88.6% state of charge in the batteries. We've used 61.3 ampere hours. We are pulling 590 watts at the moment, or 44.7 amps. That's what's happening at the current state. Running that Ibis 4 on heat right there. So toaster, this is a very thirsty device, as you're aware with microwaves. But to be able to do this while, you know, while the air conditioner is running is a great thing. It's awesome. You don't want to have to, you know, with a 2,000 watt inverter you probably have to, but to be able to have the air conditioner on and quickly zap a bit of food, or, you know, put the toaster on, happy days, you can do that with this type of system. There are other systems out there that you would have to shut the air conditioner down and or run one device at a time, which is fine, but you just have to manage it. This makes it a lot easier and simpler. Go back to the screen now. We'll start that microwave up again, eh? There we go. $170. The AC might have ramped down. 2,500 watts, 2,220, 2,260, or 180 odd amps. Beautiful. We've also done the Wi-Fi full alarm system on this, guys. So their Caravan alarms are great. So if you guys already don't know what they are, pretty much it's a shock sensing alarm system. So if you try and hitch up on a DO35 hitch or ball hitch or whatever, you give it a good knock, rattle those chains hard enough, it's going to sound the siren, or sound the horn in this case, and grab the brakes and flash the crap out of all the lights. I think my food's ready. It's really good because it's, you know, you're going to have these flashing lights belt down the street while the tyres are screeching away, and that's going to wake up some neighbours. So they're a really good addition to any of your new vans to get out there. The Wi-Fi systems are great. I've been around for a while now. Tony over there does a great job. Shout out to old mate. We're happy fitting them. We do them every day. It just gives you extra security when you're, you know, if you leave your van, you are off grid, and you don't want to keep putting in padlocks in your hitches and whatnot. You just press the button and walk away. So that's the Wi-Fi system, guys. That's all nice and neatly tucked away. So these guys have a bit of extra security while they're camping and head out for the day. Just in case you guys want to see what Enerdrive actually put on the back of their inverters, they do a great job of this. Now, I'm not affiliated with any of these brands, guys. I just like putting in good stuff that just works. And they got great support Australia-wide. So it's very easy to see. This is on the back of all of their inverters. They put it very clearly right there. Hot water, forget the air conditioner, obviously, you know, we've got with the onset of lithium, you know, you're able to run air conditioners, so disregard that one. You know, that was the old way because you didn't want a non-essential load running from an inverter. But yeah, take note of the battery charger and the picture of the little GPO. See how it is in the hot water? All right. Look, it's all before the inverter. It's on the inverter input. The output, you can run whatever loads that you control, right? And that's the why it's done like that. You don't want to create that magic loop with running the battery charger, you know, that you've seen me go on about. So that's the right way to do it, right? And that's straight out of Enerdrive's, you know, you can go online, you can check it out.